From an early age, we're taught we have to welcome someone into our home. But what I learned the hard way is you have to make an effort to welcome somebody into your life.
Thank you so much for coming back and seeing me and DESI. And I hope you had a good summer week. I had a great week. And I wanted to thank you so much for last week. I showed you my little redecorating of my living room and my bedroom, and I based it on the movie You've Got Mail. And oh, that was so much fun, and you were so kind with your comments. And I had so much fun because we were all sharing our favorite romantic comedies. You brought up so many that I forgot. Sleepless in Seattle, While You Were Sleeping, Green Card, oh I love that one. On my YouTube channel, there's a community section, and I posted, hey, ask me some questions this week. And boy, did you come through. I printed out like 5 pages of questions that you have for me and DESI. And some of them are so cute and sweet and kind and funny, and others are the questions that I get week after week, year after year. And a couple of them, they're heartbreaking. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to answer them. One question I get all the time is, should I start a YouTube channel? And am I too old, or will it be too expensive, or is it too scary? What do you think? Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think you got to make a choice. Is it going to be something that is a hobby and something fun, something that will sort of document your life? Or are you thinking, well, I want to start a channel so I can supplement my income and, you know, just have a little fun starting a business? So there's 2 tracks that you can pursue. Now, the first track, if you want it to be a hobby, documenting your life and, I don't know, just saying hello to the world, yes, 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 you should do it. Whether you want to film on your phone or a fancy camera, whatever you got, oh yes, do it. And if you do it, let me know. I'll shout you out and we'll all go over to your channel and say hi. The other end of that coin is, okay, this is my business and this is the channel that I hope I'll reach 100,000 subscribers and I'll get a, you know, XYZ, whatever. That is going to cause you stress, and it's going to be a lot of hard work, and it's not something that can be done casually. You'll have to learn your craft and you'll have to study. So I guess what I'm saying is, it's all up to you of what you feel you need to do. Is just starting a YouTube channel going to be fun? Oh, yes. Is it going to be stress? No. No.
People have asked me what kind of car I drive. I drive a very pretty Cadillac CTS. It was manufactured in 2011. It doesn't even quite have 80,000 miles on it, I think. And I think I'm going to keep it, but I paid it off years ago. And it's been a fine car for me. I've had 1 repair on it, and that was the battery. I was asked if I would do a garden tour and explain what plants I planted and why, and I would love to do that. I have hesitated to do that because I'm no professional gardener, and I follow Linda Vader, and she really is fantastic. So I'm just too intimidated to show my gardens very much.
I have gotten this question for 10 years. How often do you dust? I really love your house. your decorating style isn't really my taste, but I appreciate it. But you have so much around. How do you dust? How do you dust it all? Oh, it's tough. If I see dust, I dust. I probably dust every day. I don't dust my whole house every day, but if I see dust, I dust it. I don't even think about it. And I live in northern Michigan. I live right by the river and the woods. And you know the stream that I go to a lot in my videos? I live a block from there. So, you know, I'm not by a lot of industrial type, you know, factories that might produce a lot of dust. Maybe, I don't know. But do you get a lot of dust where you are? I've always been mystified by this question. Maybe here in Michigan, we're just, I don't know. Maybe we're a dust-free zone. Maybe I don't see the dust. Maybe DESI dusts and I don't even know he's dusting. Do I go to church? Am I a Roman Catholic? What's up with that? Yeah, you know, I think I was born into a Roman Catholic family. I think once you're Catholic, you're always Catholic in one way or another. I mean, I know the choreography, you know, I know it, you know, perfectly. You know, you're up, you're down, you're spinning around. I don't know. I have gone to 3 different churches in my city here in northern Michigan, and I have yet to find one that fits. So I'm going to keep looking, but 2 of them have been Catholic churches and 1 wasn't. So I don't know what I am. I'm a very spiritual person. And I think to myself, you know, I talk to God all the time. And I try to figure out every week, in case somebody is listening to me that is hurting or in trouble, I try to think of something I've read, a scripture, and I try to live up to that in my words or in my deeds, in my videos, without ever mentioning God. Just the spirit of it is, it's a huge part of why I keep going after 10 years. Susan, I love you, but I'm so mystified. You say you have 2 sons, but you only talk about 1. What's up with that? Okay, so those of you that have been with me a long time, you know this, but I do want to say it for the people that question was left for me 3 times, so I feel like I should answer it once again. But my son Christopher was born to me when I was 18 years old, and I raised him, and he's a wonderful man, and he has my 2 adorable grandchildren, and I moved up here to my city so I could be closer to my son and you know, our immediate family up here. Now, when I was 14, I had a very, very sad childhood, and a lot of things went wrong. I became pregnant at 14. At 15, I was in an unwed mother's home, and I was told that I was not allowed to keep my baby because of my young age. So my son was put up for adoption, my other son. And I did not know where he was until he turned 30. Now, what I had done before that is I had written the state year after year after year because of the adoption laws that shielded me from him. I didn't want any shield. I wanted him to be able to find me right away. And when he turned 30, he did. And I remember opening up my front door, and he ran to me, and he put his arms around me, and he said, "Mother." We had a wonderful reunion. And in many ways, we still do. It's just that I haven't physically seen my first son in 10 years. He's very, very busy. And he's a wonderful man. He has the same laugh as my son, Chris. When I look at it, when I see my 2 sons, I think of having a loving relationship with both of them, but only in a different way. And just because I don't see Sean, and he's not physically in my life. We text, and his birthday is this month, and we always celebrate that. You know, maybe it's over the internet, but it's better than nothing. And I had nothing for 30 years. I know maybe some of you would think, well, it doesn't sound like you have much of a relationship, but I feel we do. And I feel that the story isn't fully over. There's still time. And Sean and I talk about all the time, you know, getting together. And we will. I know we will. I know we will. When is Desi the happiest? Desi is the happiest when we go for a walk, by far. He is always interested. He's always just so inquisitive, and he just runs with such joy. He barks a lot. He barks at other dogs. I think Desi thinks to himself, I'm a big dog. I weigh 200 pounds, and they're scared of me. I swear he thinks that way. But he's such a joy. The other time Desi, I think, is the happiest, besides being king of his backyard. He likes that. But in the morning, like, if I kind of rumble around and we have a couple more hours that we can sleep in the morning, he seems to really enjoy that time for some reason. He gets on his back and it's like, I got 2 more hours to sleep. And I mean, he is a character. And did I teach him how to sing? I did not. Desi just came singing. When I adopted him, I didn't notice it right away. Susan, I warned you that you might have buyer's remorse when you moved by your family. Such isolation and disappointment that you won't know anybody in your city, and your family will ignore you. Have you found that to be the case? Do you have regrets that you picked up and you moved by your family? I appreciate that question, and I am extremely sorry that the move that you made didn't work out for you. And I do know the details of that, and my heart breaks. And I think that you moving back to your original city, I agree with you that has made you happier. But for me, in my situation, I'm home. I'm finally home. I have a little cottage here. It's not much, but it's everything to me, and I have my own land and my own gardens. Desi loves it, and every single week I get to spend quality time with my grandchildren. So, no, I have no regrets. What's up with Hal? Is Hal really your boyfriend? Hal is my boyfriend. He is my sweetheart. And I don't get to see Hal very much anymore because he's in Grand Rapids and I'm up here in Big Rapids. So I don't see him and I miss him. And, you know, I think there's always been a little bit of a romantic spark between Hal and I. Always. I mean, even from the early days. My husband, you know, Hal was my husband Ed's best friend. And Ed was very jealous when Hal would come around, because he saw that chemistry between Hal and I, and he didn't like it. He kicked Hal out of the house once for ruining our date. That's a good story. I'll have to have Hal tell you that, but yeah, I love Hal. There are just some things, the history that Hal and I share, it's just, Hal was always Mary's husband, and I was always Ed's wife. So it's been very difficult for us to get past that. You're always talking about going on dates. How are you meeting all these men that you're going out on dates with? All right. I'll tell you what the secret sauce is. I ask people, neighbors, friends, my grandson who works at a restaurant, hey, do you know anybody, any men my age that, might like to go out and have a cup of coffee or see a band? Do you know anybody that, maybe would like to go out with me? And I don't find that humiliating or hurting my dignity at all. And you know what? They always come back with, now that I think about it, would you consider going out with XYZ? And so that's how I get dates. I ask for them. Like and subscribe. I don't say that. It's creepy. Isn't that creepy? Especially when they say like and subscribe and you're only like 30 seconds into the video. That's like going on a first date and the waiter comes over and you say, stop. Now you are going to call me, aren't you? Okay, maybe not. What would be my dream destination and what is my very favorite dinner to eat? My dream, okay, I think I'm going to book a luxury hotel and I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. for a week. And I'm just I've never seen the White House. I've never seen the Washington Monument or the Lincoln Memorial or the Vietnam Wall. I've never seen any of that and I want to see it. And the other place I want to go to is I want to visit some of my musician friends that are in New Orleans. So I want to book a nice hotel there. And I want to have a fabulous week in New Orleans. One that I'll never dare tell my grandchildren about. What is my very favorite dinner? What do I love to eat? Special occasion, what would I order? And it would be fish every single time. There is nothing better than butter battered fish. And then, maybe a wonderful baked potato, onion rings, something that I'm not supposed to have, but something that complements the fish with a beautiful salad. And to me, that is everything. What are your favorite novels of all time? And when you say all time, then I think back on the novels that raised me, that made me the human being I am today. And one of those is To Kill a Mockingbird. When I was 10 years old, my grandfather died, and I did not have a father. And I read a lot of books. And at 10 years old, I was reading To Kill a Mockingbird, and there was Atticus Finch. And he became my dad. And there was Jem and Scout and with Boo Radley. Well, was he scary and would he come out? It was a beautiful, beautiful book about tolerance, about hate, and about justice and about love.
I think sometimes the point of life isn't to find more things to hate, but to find more things to love. I asked someone that I used to love what he thought would become of me. Would I ever remarry? And he said, you could get married again. It's just that you don't want to. You don't want a relationship, but you won't admit it.
Play your piano for us. I want to play my piano for you, and I would love to play you a song or two, or how many you could stand. The problem with it is, number one, I'm not real sure about copyright laws right now. Like, am I allowed to sit down and play a little Billy Joel or something, or Joni Mitchell? Can I do that without getting a strike on my channel? So that I don't know. I've got to investigate that. Can I sit down and play you one of my songs, which is, I would prefer actually to do that because I know that I own my own songs. And the problem with that is I have a mic that I'm using right now, and my piano is not going to sound good on that mic. It takes hours to mic a piano professionally in a studio. So I can't quite figure out how I'm going to sit at the piano and play for you, because I know you want that because you ask about it every week. I can't quite figure out how I can respect the instrument that I just bought and present it in a professional light to you, because I can go over here and play a few songs for you and the piano's going to sound terrible. It's too loud. This microphone will not handle it. I got my new piano, I posted pictures of it on my Facebook page, and an engineer that I have exclusively worked with over the years, he saw that and he goes, I want to come to your house and record you. And I thought, okay, let's do that. So I think I will have some songs coming. I got a question the other day about feeling sexy and how I feel hormones affect our attitudes towards romance as we get older. And I'm sure that does factor into it. I know turning 70 has turned me into a hypochondriac, but I try to laugh at myself about that. But anyway, I remember, now my mom was always a sexy lady. She always liked her man. She always seemed to have a boyfriend up until right around 75. And then she looked at me and she said, honey, I don't know what's going on, but I just don't feel sexy anymore. I just don't. I look at a guy and I feel nothing. And I remember at the time thinking, oh, that's what happens. You just sort of lose your hormones. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I know I can still see a very handsome man mowing his lawn and I'm thinking impure thoughts. I mean, that's true. That's still happening with me. The next question, I sort of hesitated whether I should answer this question. And I'm going to try to tuck this question in at the end, so maybe nobody will get this far. The question was, Susan, has something that you put in a video ever gotten you in trouble with anybody in your life? And the answer is yes. Seriously. I mean, not indictment serious, but I mean, it affected my relationships. It was very upsetting and very hurtful. Let's see if I can describe what happened quickly. About 3.5 years ago, I did a video on someone that I cared about, that I had dated on and off for a couple years, and I did a video on how he was getting married. And that I took it kind of hard, not because I was lamenting over him, but just because I was looking back on my life thinking, you know, I was so busy filming and learning, you know, how to work a camera that I didn't take any time out to really cultivate a relationship. And maybe I'd be getting married, or maybe I'd be married, or blah, 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 woe is me, you know. So I was throwing myself kind of a pity party. And I showed some, you know, old footage of he and I just bombing around, you know, because he was a great guy. And we had a lot of fun. And I thought I was being incredibly respectful, and I was wishing him luck. I was saying, you know, oh, I know he loves his bride-to-be, and oh my God, the crap hit the fan. Can you take that video down? Can you change the thumbnail? Can you change the title? You know, and oh my God, you know, please, you know, do some. You know, I was so confused. I was just so confused by the whole thing. I didn't know what I had said or done that would upset anybody. I didn't take the video down because it was just a tiny little blib, you know, at the end of the video. Oh no, the end of the video, curse. Anyway, long story short, too late. The happy ending is that they got married and they're happy, and I don't think any little video blurb is going to bother them. But it hurt me that I hurt them. When I come to talk to you every week, I share my life with you, and you share your life with me. And I never think, oh, I'm going to say something and somebody out there is going to get offended. I would never do that. Well, I'm just not that kind of person. So a few months ago, I got a correspondence from the very best friend of an artist that I have always showcased on this channel. Nobody was talking about this artist when I started talking about her 10 years ago, and they're still not talking about her. She was an artist I fell in love with because she created these beautiful floral paintings. So I got a correspondence from someone who loved her, who grew up with her, and they were very, very upset with me that I was talking about this artist, and that I was talking about how I felt, she felt, when her art blew up and became so popular, and she had turned something that she loved to do so much into such a huge business that she felt at times overwhelmed. And over the 10 years, I had gotten 2 letters from someone that went to college with her. And they gave me details about her life that I never shared. But it gave me that confidence that the little I did say about her was accurate and kind and loving, because I just love her so much. Without ever knowing her, she passed away in 2003. They've never released the cause of her death. I've never gone into that. It's none of my business. But there was such an ache. This friend wrote me, how could you show her work for views? That wasn't it at all. And everybody who's here, who watches me week after week, knows that I'd be incapable of ever exploiting anyone or hurting their family for any type of monetary gain. I'm not here for money. If I was here for money, I couldn't do it. It's too hard. So I wrote her back. I said, what in the world can I do to make this better? How can if I said something that wasn't completely correct, let me correct it. Give me some type of guidance. Let me know how to make this right. Because I knew in my heart, this artist would want me to do that. Nothing. Crickets. I got nothing back. I am so sorry for this woman's loss. And it's obvious that she loved this artist so much. All I can say is that from now on, I will continue to show this artist's work. I will no longer try to talk about anything personal, out of respect to your feelings. And that's just the way I'm going to leave it. I don't know any other way to leave it. But I do want to say this. I will never be edited. I will never. I can't be here every week and be edited and be thinking, if I say this, it'll hurt these people. And if I say that, then these people will pick at me. The goal is, when you come here and you watch one of my videos, is that you see a bit of yourself in how I feel or what I'm showing you, that it becomes an experience that you can relate to, that you can feel. And then therefore you can take away from that experience something special. If you don't see yourself in the things I'm talking about or the things I'm expressing, it's of no value to you. You can find great Amazon shoes just by using Google. You don't need me to do that. And I'm aware of that. This channel has to be about us. And if I wanted to have a channel about money, and strictly about money, that means that what I began to love so much, creating videos and filming and having this beautiful, loving relationship with so many of you from all over the world, if I ruined that by turning that into a money-making machine, or maybe I bring in a manager or an editor or who knows what, and they put a lot of pressure on me. They want me to do videos about this and videos about that. And what do you mean 1 video a week? Are you kidding? You want to make money. Go ahead, publish 2, 3, start another channel. Once you do that, the very thing that you love, the very reason that you started doing the thing that you love, is wounded almost beyond repair, and what you loved is something that you begin to hate. And so that's why I think when I see an artist blow up, that's what I think about. And I always think to myself, please hold on. I hope they hold on to that one thing inside them that made them want to be an artist in the first place. Don't lose that. Don't lose it.
Oh, my little bird that I found at the thrift store this week. I think she's old and she's wise. But you know, I've spent a lifetime trying to figure out forgiveness and why that's never been something that I have embraced in my life. And I finally figured out I don't have anybody to forgive. I'm not mad at anybody. I carry no burdens on my back. I have no one left to forgive except myself.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for submitting all those wonderful, fun, sweet questions, even the hard ones. I know they were asked with love. And if you get a chance down below, could you just maybe chime in and answer one of those questions and let us, feel like we're all in this together, because we are. So please have yourself a very happy, safe, brand new week. And when you're done with your week, please come back and see me and Desi, okay? All right, it's a deal. I'll be here. I'm in love with him, and I feel fine. I'm in love with him, and I